We're here with Peter Baartmans of Yamaha, and we are looking at a beautiful new home educational lifestyle Yamaha instrument, the Clavinova CVP-609, and this is the CVP-609 GP in the grand piano cabinet. There's also a more upright style. It has a touchscreen, first Clavinova line to have a touchscreen. There's also a model with a smaller touchscreen called the CVP-605. Among the cool features on this are wonderful new super articulation voices that let you play like a keyboard player and think like a keyboard player, but sound like a saxophone or an acoustic guitar or whatever it is. There's amazing iTunes integration on this that we'll get into a little bit later. But Peter, I just wanted you to tell me what are the most musical and compelling new features of the Clavinova.
Yes, as you already said, we have a lot of new voices, we have new features. One of the very nice features, I think, is also what we call free play styles. So you can play with some chord-generated orchestras, but there is no beat. So you are free to play in tempo. So if I start something with a piano like this, now I start the style. So the orchestra comes in. So you can play,
beautiful.
As the Italians say, a rubato. You can play in the free tempo.
Yes, rubato, it'll follow your tempo.
Yeah,
wow.
Well, in fact, there's always a tempo, but there is no beat. So you are really free to play. Then we, of course, have magnificent new super articulation 2 voices. In fact, they all come from Tyros 4, which is Yamaha's top model
Arranger
portable
workstation.
Keyboard. Yes. Yeah. There are things, as a keyboard player that you just can't do, which other instruments like brass or strings they can do, because here you are physically just attached to the keyboard. And for example, if I take this great new Celtic violin sound, of course I can play a trill on the keyboard, but a violin player does it in a different way and then it sounds different. So what we can do now is changing what we call the head of the sample, the beginning of the sample. You can do it with one of these buttons. You can do it also with one of the 3 pedals. So if I press the pedal now, before I hit the note, I get the trill, but this trill is really played, sampled by the violin player. And it just sounds different.
Right.
And you have this typical...
Yeah, the articulation of that grace note is different than if you just play it straight.
Because it's done, it's sampled it's sampled in the sound. Or, for example, if you play octaves, which I will do now. I play them now non-legato. If you play them legato, so this is done by the machine automatically. So that is very, very exciting. Also for example, the soprano saxophone, we have different ones. Maybe we can have a look. Well, you see it's a touchscreen. So this is the pop soprano. Now I switch to the ballad soprano, which is a little bit different sound. It also does different things for the articulations. In fact, you can always see what the articulations do. If you press the info button, it just tells you what the left and the center pedal do. And it tells you what they do before you press the pedal, before you play the note, or after you play the note, and you get different things. So left makes a grace note now, or a fast bend. Okay, so it really tells you what the super articulation functions are doing, and then you can create a great soprano sound. Also, the band is really sampled, and that's completely different as if you would use, for example, a pitch bend wheel. Just a different sound. We have for the first time now also fingered played electric guitar sounds. Now I use a sustain pedal to create the note off sound. So that's all very, very exciting. I mean, for a piano player, it's just very, very, very new, and it's just all fantastic. We have great choir sounds. So this is just a classic choir sound of kind of boys' choir. Articulation technology allows you as a player to really play other exciting vocal sounds, and we call it Super Articulation 2 sounds, but it's the latest generation, and what it does what we call wave cycling. So every time you hit a new key or the same key again, the sound just changes, right? So for example, very clear example, shu bi do ba. These are 4 samples, shu bi do ba, and they just cycle. So if I just repeat one note, it just cycles, okay? And you can do it in polyphonic ways, of course, as well, and then you get the typical. But if you do it,
now, some keyboards have done that with velocity, so you'll get the bop or the bow if you hit it hard.
Yes, and that's the big difference, because that's harder to control, and you have no dynamics. But now you can do it with dynamics, because now you can play, for example, this, or because it has nothing to do with the dynamics anymore. So, and it's perfect control, and and you can still do it dynamically. So that's a very, very huge difference. And also, here the pedal has a function. Sorry, I'm from the Netherlands. Has a function, and it changes the sound. So I can hold one sound when I press the pedal. It does this. I release the pedal, and again. Press the pedal. I think that's great. And you can also do it this way, for example. Or some Latin vocals, they do the same.
Oh, so if you hold a note,
yes,
it will it'll hold that note, but it'll cycle the new notes underneath it, so you can have a voice leading.
That's how it
tone.
Works. And if you take some time, for example, if I play shu-bi, just shu-bi, and now I wait, then it resets again. So it's now shu-bi, 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 shu-bi. But you have to do the legato thing to make it keep on cycling. That's
right.
That's the way you do it. Sometimes it's also a little bit random. So we have voices which just do it randomly, like this Latin vocal. Just randomly cycling something, and that gives a very nice effect. For example, together with the guitar. It's very, let's say, vivid, and it's also very, very musical. So we have a lot of these voices, not only vocals, but also brass sounds with Super Articulation 2, saxophone sounds, and also I think it's amazing maybe to have a little closer look at the style control, because the styles are amazing. Here, this is a classic style. I just play
Peter, let's take that in the next clip,
okay,
so I don't run out of memory, but we'll just do one more clip on that.
Okay.